Hello, I'm Adam Riley from Enso Analytics, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Generate Rows component. This component is new in Enso 25.1. It's a table-based component, so we've got a sample table here. This is some sample employment data, so we've got 4 sample employees with their start dates and the number of days they worked. So if I pull a Generate Rows component in to get us started, we can see from the tooltip here at the bottom, so it generates additional rows of data by repeating existing rows based on provided range. So what does that mean? So first thing we need to do is pick what type of range. So I'm going to just take integer to start with, and I'm going to go from 0 to, and I'm just going to put the number 2 in for that. And so what this does is creates a copy of each of those incoming rows of data. So we can see Ava Anderson gets duplicated twice. Bella Brooks twice. If I increase this to 3, then I get 3 copies of each of those data. And you can see on the right hand side you get this new field generated row, which gives you an ID so you can distinguish those new rows of data from each other. So this is the simplest use case. So you might want to say create a work rota, so you want a row of data per day of the week. So we could go from 0 to 7 and get 7 rows. We can include the end if we want to, so that gives us 0 to 7. If we want to start from 1, we could set the starting value from 1 to 7. So we've got 7 rows of data for Ava. We're able to step by more than 1 if we want to, so we could step by 2, so 1, 3, 5, 7 if we're the use case for that. And we're also able to name that generated row field, so I could call this week day, for example. So it just gets named there. So I'll just put a comment on that one, and we can take a look at the next use case. So this one is generate constant number of duplicates. So the second use case we're going to look at is when we don't have a constant number, but we need a different number per row of data. So I'm going to put that one across there, and we'll create the new one here. So again, if we go back to the source data, we can see each of these rows of data has got a field that's the number of days worked, and we can actually use that field in our generate rows. So this time, again, we're going to start from 0, but in the 2, rather than typing a constant in, we're going to choose that days work column. And if we take a look at the results of this, what we see is, so Ava, who's worked 3 days, we get 3 rows of data. Bella's worked 5 days, we get 5 rows of data. So again, very useful for a number of use cases. So this one is generate number of rows from field value. So the final use case we're going to look at, I'll put this one down here, is the date range version. So again, the use case is similar here. We want a row of data per day worked, but rather than an integer, we want the actual dates that they worked. So here I can go, let's add a third one. So this time, rather than choosing an integer range, we're going to go over a date range. We're going to start from the start date. And for the 2, we're actually going to type an expression here. So this can be an Enso expression. We're going to do date add. We're going to take our start date, and we're going to add the days worked to that, which will give us an end date for the range. And then if we look at this, so again, we end up with a row of data per day worked. But this time the generated row is a date. So we've got March 25th, 26th, 27th, and the same for each of those employees. So really useful, really powerful. So those are the 3, and I'll again put a comment on this one. So this is generate based on a date range. So that is the generate rows component. So available now in Enso 25.1. Thank you for watching.